girls, we have a new book to read today, and it is called Elizabethy's Doll by Stephanie Stube Bodine. And we're going to read today to find out about how Elizabethy does not have a doll or a baby of her own, but she wants to care for a baby just like her mama does. Let's read to find out how Elizabethy solves this problem. And today, boys and girls, we have a new goal. I want you to make connections to other books we've read.
Other book?
Yeah, to other books. We've talked about making connections to our own lives, but today I want you to make connections to other books we've read. So as I'm reading, today and every day, you can make connections to other books you've read. You can think, this book makes me think of another book because, and you have to think of a reason. Say that with me. Say that with me. This book makes me think of another book because, and I'm going to have you turn and talk throughout this book, and I want you to be able to tell your connections that you're making to other books. Yes? Thumbs up if you're ready. No, Miss Benson's busy. All right, friends, I'm going to read it like this today, and I'm going to leave our goal up here so we can remember that, okay? All right. Thumbs up if you have a baby brother or sister. Just thumbs up. We're going to read to find out about how Elizabethy has a baby brother or sister in this book. We're going to read how she, excuse me, I'm trying to read. We're going to read to find out how Elizabethy tries to care for something just like her mama cares for her baby. Elizabethy had a new baby brother named Obadiah. Elizabethy watched Mama take care of him, and she wanted to care for her own baby. I want you guys to predict what Elizabethy is going to do to solve this problem. Turn and talk to your partner. Come back together in 3, 2, 1. Ava, what is Elizabethy going to do to solve this problem? What's your prediction?
I think her gonna ask her mom, maybe her could buy her a little play doll.
Oh, a doll? She's going to ask her mom to buy her a doll?
I
Oh,
think
great.
she
Oh,
should.
if you want something you want to say, raise your hand. So let's read to find out, okay? Let's have one more prediction, and then we'll find out. Roy, thanks for raising your hand. Talk what? She's going to talk to her mom about what?
Go to the store and
Go to the store and buy something. Let's read to find out how Elizabethy solves this problem, and we'll see if your predictions are right. She didn't have a doll, so she went outside and picked up a stick. She tried to hug it, but it poked her, and she dropped it on the ground. Was that a good baby? Then Elizabethy picked up a rock. It was just the right size to hold, and it didn't poke Elizabethy when she hugged it. She kissed the rock and named it Eva. Eva. How did Elizabethy solve this problem?
get a rock and make it into a baby.
She's making a rock into a baby. This takes place in a country far across the ocean, in a country called Tanzania. And in Tanzania, they don't have a lot of stores to go to, and a lot of the people don't have a lot of money to go buy things. So they have to get pretty creative.
There's a chicken.
The little girls and boys have to use things around, like outside, as their toys.
There's a chicken.
Is Elizabethy being pretty creative?
But she has a chicken.
When baby Obadiah had a bath, he splashed and got Mama wet. When Eva had a bath, she behaved very nicely and only splashed a little.
I think
Friends, why do you think Elizabeth is giving Eva a bath? I want you to turn and talk to your partner. Come back together in 3, 2, 1. Cadence.
She wants to be like her mom.
She wants to be like her mom.
She wants to
Now,
be dirty.
I want us to stop and think. Our goal today is to make connections to other books we've read. Is this book making you think of another book we've read?
Yeah.
I want you to raise your hand if you have a connection that you've made to another book we read. Stella, tell me, what book? Do Like Kyla is the one with the, what connection are you making to that book?
Because she copies her mom and she copies her sister.
Oh, do you guys remember in Do Like Kyla? The little girl copied her big sister Kyla. Everything she did, everything her sister Kyla did, the little girl did. How is that the same with Elizabeth, Ava?
Because the little girl likes to do what her does.
Yeah, the little girl is copying her mama, just like the little girl in Do Like Kyla. She is copying Kyla. Let's keep reading to find out what happens next. When her mama fed Obadiah, and he gave a loud burp. Elizabeth fed Eva, but she was too polite to burp. That's kind of funny.
Because she's a rock.
Yes. I want you to keep thinking about other books that we've read. Is this book making you think of other books we've read? Let's read a few more pages and then we'll hear some other connections. Mama changed the cloth wrapped around Obadiah's bottom, and it was very messy. Elizabeth was very relieved to find out that Eva's bottom was still clean. Friends, raise your hand to tell me, why is Elizabeth's rock not burping or making messy diapers? Reagan?
Because it's not real.
It's not real. It's just a rock, isn't it? Now, let's read one more page and then I want you to share your connections to other books we've read, okay? When Mama did her chores, she tied Obadiah onto her back with a bright cloth named a kanga. Does that make you think of an animal?
Kangaroo.
How do kangaroos carry their babies?
In a pouch.
They carry it on the front of their bodies. This is like a pouch on the back.
And the name
that's-
kind of sounds like
It
this.
does. When Elizabeth did her chores, she also tied Eva onto her back with a kanga. Mama had to help a little. All right, I want you to tell your partner to turn and talk. Listen, wait for what you're going to talk about. I want you to turn and tell your partner a connection you've made to other books we've read. Come back together in 3, 2, 1. Mariah.
The one book with the little boy and the mom.
Jonathan and his mommy. What's the connection you made to that book? How is that book? How does that book remind you of this book?
Because
I agree with you. I think there is a connection there. Aviana, you were her partner. You talked about this. What was the connection you guys made between these books?
I don't know. She didn't even get to say it.
Oh, okay. So what would you think, Jonathan and his mommy? How does that book make you think of this book?
Because the mom in that book has a kid and that mom in that book has a kid.
Do both of these mamas have kids that they do things with?
Yeah.
Yes. That's a great connection. Who has another connection? Lucas? want us to come back to? You can think about it. Josephine.
That I'm a little teapot.
Oh, you're thinking back to a book we read a long time ago. Tell me the connection you made.
She's like the little teapot. She's like wants to do and she wants to do stuff and like the little teapot did.
Oh, the little teapot did lots of crazy things, didn't she? Did that make you think of the little girl Elizabeth in this book?
Yeah.
That's a great connection. You guys are really making connections to other books we've read. Let's keep reading to find out what happens. Elizabeth went to visit her friend, Rahaley. Rahaley laughed when she saw that Elizabeth had a rock for a doll. But Rahaley didn't have a doll either. So when Elizabeth left, Rahaley found her own rock and named it Malusi. When Elizabeth got home, it was time for her to get water from the village well. She took Eva out of the kanga and laid her on the ground near some other rocks so she wouldn't be lonely. Then Elizabeth wrapped the kanga into a small bundle, put it on top of her head, and placed the water jug on top of the kanga. This was how she always carried water and other heavy things. See, they use their heads to carry. They have to have really good balance. It's an easier way to balance things on their heads, and a lot of times they carry things in their arms too, so they use this as like another arm.
They're making a race.
They're not racing, they're just walking. Thumbs up if you are making connections to other books we've read. I want you to turn and talk again and tell another book that you've made a connection to. Come back together in 3, 2, 1. Elliot, tell me about why you made a connection to Don't You Feel Well, Sam. They're both bears. Are you thinking about the mama bear and the baby bear? And in this book, what does that make you think of with this book? So we've got both people and both bears in that book. Yeah, that's a connection you've made. You've thought about the mama bear and the baby bear. And in this book, we have the mama person and the baby person, right? Or not really. Well, we've got two baby people. We've got the Elizabeth and even her baby.
And a rock.
And a rock, too. Elizabeth's rock. Elizabeth soon returned with the water and took it to her sister Pendo inside the cooking hut where all the family's meals were made. Then Elizabeth ran outside to get Eva. But Eva was gone. Elizabeth looked all around, but she couldn't find Eva. Show me with your faces how you think Elizabeth is feeling today. I want you to look back at that camera. I want everyone to show how is Elizabeth feeling. Let's see. Mason, how do you think Elizabeth is feeling? Sad. Why do you think she feels sad? Her baby. It's a real baby to Elizabeth though. All right, check yourselves. Are you sitting right? Let's read to find out what happens. Mama found a new rock and gave it to Elizabeth. Elizabeth shook her head when she saw it. That rock was just a rock. Pendo also brought Elizabeth a rock, but it wasn't Eva either. Elizabeth was very sad and sat quietly until it was time to help Pendo in the cooking hut. The family had rice for dinner every night, and it was Elizabeth's job to put their pot of rice on the fire pit, which was made of 3 large stones. Show me what Elizabeth's face looks like right now. What is she feeling right now, Erin? Oh, Eric.
Maybe she doesn't want to get her hand
she's thinking, oh, that's too high. To
Or
me,
the rock.
her face looks a little surprised.
That might be the rock.
You think it might be? Let's read to find out. Elizabeth sadly filled the pot with water and set it on the stones to boil. But one of those stones wasn't a stone at all. It was Eva!
Oh no, she's a fire.
It was her baby.
She's on fire.
How did that Eva end up in the fire?
Her sister probably put it there.
Maybe.
Oh,
Elizabeth
yeah.
called for Mama, and together they moved the pot of water and rolled Eva away from the fire. Although Eva was a bit dirty, she hadn't been hurt. Pendo ran outside to get a new stone for the fire pit, which is just how poor Eva had become lost. Eva sat quietly while Elizabeth cleaned her off and hugged her. Thumbs up if you are making more connections to other books we've read. Turn and talk to your partner about another connection you made to another book we've read. Come back together in 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna look for someone sitting the right way. Lewis,
About that little book right there.
the Don't You Feel Well Sam book? Or which book?
The middle one.
The middle one, Jonathan and his mommy. What's the connection you made? How does that book make you think of this book?
Because they're copying each other.
They're copying each other in that book. And Jonathan and his mommy, they keep doing the same things as each other. You are making that connection. Very good job. Friends, let's see how this ends. At bedtime, Mama sang a lullaby and rocked Obadiah in her arms until he fell asleep. What did Elizabeth do?
Do that.
The same thing. Elizabeth sang a lullaby too.
So
But she fell asleep before Eva did.
Because but she's a rock.
I know, but she doesn't think of her as a rock though, does she?
She's a
Mama covered Elizabeth and Eva with a blanket. She smiled and thought one day Elizabeth would make a fine mother. Eva thought so too. Friends, when I was reading this book, I kept making connections to other books that I've read. I kept thinking, this book is making me think of another book we've read. I kept thinking of Do Like Kyla, because you made some of the same connections I made.
I was thinking about Kyla too.
Yeah, I bet some of you were thinking about Do Like Kyla, because the little girl in that book kept copying her sister Kyla.
And at the end, the big sister copied her. The middle one.
Yeah. Jonathan and his mommy.
They both copied it.
It also made me think of Don't You Feel Well, Sam?
Yeah.
Remember when Sam was super scared and nervous to take the cough medicine? And it made me think of this book because Elizabeth felt scared too.
Yeah,
For a different reason, but her baby was gone. Did Sam feel scared in that book?
No.
Yes? Did Elizabeth feel scared in this book?
Yes.
That's a connection I made. All right. Today and every day, you can, excuse me, check yourselves. We're almost done. You can make connections to other books we've read. Thumbs up if you are ready to try this when you go to do Read to Self or Independent Reading today.
All right.
All right, I think we're ready.